Hey guys, it's me. I'm gonna watch where I'm going because there's a tire here and I don't want to trip over it. It's me, Jess Fox with CedarFIT, and I'm here to take you through the Maniacal Minute for your cardio workout today. Lots of fun things coming up, lots of good heart rate opportunities. So do be sure you've got your heart rate monitor connected to your phone, session started, and you get through some good stretches and warm-ups. It's so easy to put yourself in a risky position for a workout if you're not doing your full warm-up and your full stretching. We want to get the muscles primed and ready to work out. We're not priming them for that workout or that exercise. The risk of injury increases significantly, just like if we're not doing our cool down stretches at the end of the workouts. So always be diligent, get through the stretches from head to toe, get all the stretches done, and there's a video both for the warm-up and the cool down of stretching. So if there's anything you're kind of feeling a little tight in, check out one of those videos to be sure you're getting the full thing. Okay, that's enough of that. Getting into the Maniacal Minute. The Maniacal Minute is 1 solid minute of work, and today we have the Maniacal Minute Gauntlet, which means it's the Maniacal Minute, 1 solid minute of work, but the first and the third exercise are the same, just like our gauntlets. 5 sets of exercises. Each set has 3 exercises in it, and the timer is, of course, 20 seconds on, 0 seconds off. So that 1 minute is comprised of 3 exercises. The first and the third, of course, are the same. We will go A through E 5 times through. In between each set, you will have a 10-second water break. It's going to be quick, so remember, just 1 quick sip of water on those water breaks. Let me go ahead and lay everything out while I do this, because it is going to take me probably about 2 minutes to get through today's layout. Take this time, do some additional stretching, foam rolling, or if you are ready to get going, start jogging in place, jumping jacks, forward back hopper steps, something to get the body up and going. First exercise, A1 is a T squat, wide toes, wide knees. Hands don't come much lower than like the upper thigh area. I see some people bending way too far. So if your hands are coming to your knees, you're probably bending too far over. So right to that inner thigh, up to the top, exhale. Here's the non-jumping variation. We then have a lateral shuttle or a step. A step is this here. If you have knee discomfort, I would take the lateral shuttle step. If you would have the ability to do the shuttle, you're down in more of an athletic stance, toes are wide, make sure you're not going to trip over that outside foot. You then go back to a T squat. Step B, power lunge or single leg balance and deadlift. So B1, power lunge, dropping down into that lunge, jump switch. You can also work on a single leg. If you're kind of working on trying to get into that lunge, that's another way you can kind of prep the power lunge. If you're not doing the power lunge, it's a single leg balance. So whatever leg you want to choose to have down first. Core is engaged, balancing on that single leg. Second exercise, B2, is a deadlift or a kettlebell swing. So the deadlift is a precursor to the kettlebell swing. I have my weight out in front of me. I'm going to hinge my hips back. Exhale, stand, utilizing the backside of my thighs, keeping my toes from lifting, so you should not be rocking. You're going to do the kettlebell swing. Very similar, except now we're at an explosive movement. Kettlebell starts out in front of you. Hips drive back to the wall behind you. Explode that kettlebell just to shoulder height. Always be sure when you set it back down, it's back out in front of you. Do not self-teach yourself a kettlebell swing. If you haven't been properly taught a kettlebell swing, do not try to do it at home. Do the deadlift. Third exercise is back to the power lunge or single leg balance. We then have a burpee or a sprint in place. That burpee, popping out, popping in, stand or jump up, or a sprint in place, getting that good arm drive, elbows come back behind the body. Second exercise, butt kicks or V-sit. So the butt kicks, driving that foot back, arms are also in that sprinting motion. You can also travel around the room as long as you don't have any knee pain. Now the V-sit is there for some active recovery. So if you need some active recovery, that V-sit, I'm going to sit back onto my hips, pull the feet up, hold myself into that square or that core engagement, squared shoulders. I say this in every video, and I will keep to reinforce it just because it's an important fact. If you're really tight in the quads and the hip flexors, like I am, I won't even touch a V-sit. I won't touch a V-sit with a 100-foot pole. So what I would do is I would take that either as a butt kick or a plank. So if you get into a V-sit, you feel more tension here in the hips or in your thighs or in your lower back. and not in your core, V-sits is something you don't need to be working on. You'll then go back to a burpee or sprint in place. And if you're feeling confused, don't worry, because once we get into it, it'll all start to make more sense. We have a tire flip or a deadlift. So if you have a tire to flip, I'm going to take that tire, exhale, flip it up and over. The other option you can do is a touchdown squat or a medicine ball slam. So if you have a medicine ball at home or a touchdown squat, that touchdown squat is a deep squat coming up. You can even add a jump to that if you would like. We then have a lateral lunge, stepping off to the side, back to center, over to that other lunge. Here would be the hopping higher cardio variation. If you have any knee pressure, you can take it as a lateral squat. You'll then go back to a tire flip or a touchdown squat. Then we have set E, tire up and plank to side plank. So that tire up is a jump, land, stand, step, or jump off. And I apologize, my legs are a little tired from this week. So I'm probably not going to be demoing a lot of this, or not going to be doing a lot of this with you guys. So if your quads are really tired, take that into accountability. You can go into a forward back step or hop. Here's that forward back step or hop. You don't have a surface to jump on. If you prefer to jump, you could do a floor jump. And then we have a plank to side plank. That plank to side plank is your active recovery for this set. So starting off in that plank position, hand comes up, lowering it back down, exhale, rotate over to the other side. You will then go back to your tire up or forward back step or hop. Now, I feel like I called out a whole bunch of exercises just now. It's going to seem like that until we get into it. Once we get moving and grooving, I think you guys will feel a little bit better about it. Just remember that A1 and A3 are the same thing. B1 and B3 are the same thing. C1 and C3, same thing. D1, D3, same thing. And of course, E1 and E3 are the same thing. So we only have to essentially worry about 11 exercises in today's workout. Let me get it started. Timer 20 on, 0 off, T squat, lateral shuttle, and T squat is your first set. All righty. Okay, T squats. Those T squats are just like a deadlift or a kettlebell swing. Remember, very shallow with the knee bend. It's more about driving the hips back, going into that T squat position, and the hands don't go too low. Just like if you're swinging a kettlebell, you're not going to swing a kettlebell down at your knees. Lateral shuttle. No rest in between these exercises. So lateral shuttle or lateral steps. Here is the stepping variation. This is what you're going to want to choose if you have any knee discomfort. If you're able to do the shuttle, we're bent at the hips, bent at the knees, wide toes. Back to your T squats. Now today with this timer, because it's going to be so quick, when you hear the 3, I don't necessarily want you to start changing exercises. I want you to be saying to yourself, what's the next exercise? So when the timer goes off, your body is transitioning. Okay, 10-second water break. We have a power lunge or balance, deadlift, and power lunge or balance. I am not going to do the power lunge just because I am, like I said, extremely fatigued through the legs. I cut myself off with those kind of opportunities because I know that if I push through a power lunge, I'm probably going to hurt myself or bother my knees or something else because my legs are just too tired. So if you're feeling similar, take this as a single leg balance. Deadlift, kettlebell swing. That deadlift, hips go back, exhale to the top. Big inhale down. Big exhale, stand. Working with whatever weight you're working with, make sure the core is staying braced, back is staying flat, so we're not rounding through the back. Back to your lunge or single leg balance. Now that power lunge, when you land, it's equal weight in the front foot and the back foot, unlike a reverse lunge where we keep all the weight forward. In the power, when you jump switch the legs, you should be landing with equal weight, and of course, it should be quiet. Okay, burpee, sprint in place, and butt kicks or V-sit. Okay, get ready. Burpee or sprint in place. Burpee on a surface if you need to. Make sure when you jump away from that surface, the chest stays over it. When you jump back in, the feet should come all the way back up to where your hands are, because then you get your feet under your hips for your jump towards the ceiling. Butt kicks, V-sit. V-sit is there if you need the active recovery. So if you need to take this to pull the heart rate back down, my thought would be, because we kind of just started, you probably are good to start with the butt kicks. It's also going to burn more of the hamstrings to the back side of the thigh. 3, 2, 1. Burpee, sprint in place. Your choice. The sprint in place can sometimes get a little bit more into the front side of the hips and the thighs. The burpee is overall a more dynamic exercise, but if you tend to feel knee pressure or lower back pressure, shoulder pressure, you can always go with the sprint. Okay, tire flip, lateral lunge and tire flip. If you do not have a tire to flip with, it is a touchdown squat or a frog jump. So just like if I'm flipping this tire, I'm not going to reach down and round my back. I'm going to drop my hips towards my heels and drive up through my legs. We want to be sure that's what you're doing too. If you don't have a tire, same thing with the touchdown squat. Okay, lateral lunge. Stepping off to the side, exhale, press back to center. You can always add that little hop in the middle if you would like. And if your knees are not having the lunge, it is a lateral squat. 3, 2, 1. Back to your tire flip or touchdown squat. I accidentally flipped my tire onto my kettlebell. Anyways, it's off, it's good. Tire flip or touchdown squat. Both of these exercises, we want to be sure we're dropping the hips to the ground, keeping the back flat, proud chest. 1. Okay, tire up, plank to side plank and tire up. If you do not have a tire, it is forward back step or floor jump. 1. So the tire up, I'm going to do just one. Jump, land, stand. Same thing if I'm doing jump, land, stand. So if you don't have a tire, you can go into that jump, land, stand, or what's actually written there is a forward back step. Okay, plank to side plank. Plank to side plank, even though it's a cardio day, it doesn't mean you should be going really quickly. A lot of times when we add this kind of stuff into cardio days, people move really quickly because it's cardio and they think fast, quick. This is meant to bring the heart rate down. It is there specifically for that. Tire up, floor jump or forward back step or hop. My hope is now that you've gone through all these exercises this first time, it feels a little bit more clear and well laid out than it did after the first time I went through it for your layout. So keep that in mind. We're going to head into set 2. Water break. T-squat, lateral shuttle, and T-squat. Giving a few deep breaths on that rest. 2, 1. Jumping up into that T. It's called a T because at the top, the hands come off to the side as if it were going to a T. So exhale as the hands come up. Inhale as the hands go down. We want to be sure that when we do take our hands into that T, we've got core engagement. Okay, lateral shuttle. You're doing the shuttle, you're down here, knees are bent, hips are bent, quads are burning. If you're doing a step, you are more upright. So there's less bend of the knee, less bend of the hips. Let's start talking intensity. So this is the time to start picking it up. T-squats. Quick turnover on those T-squats. So what I'm looking for, as long as you can maintain good control of the movement you're doing, take the tempo up just a little. So a slightly faster turnover from one repetition to the next. Maybe get 1 or 2 extra T-squats in that set. Set B, power lunge or balance, deadlift, and then power lunge or balance. You're starting to see the flow. It'll make things a lot easier. Okay, balance. I'm going to go with that because, like I said, my legs are not power lunging today. They are not even jumping today. They are burnt out and fatigued. So if this is, a workout where you're feeling stressed or tired or fatigued, listen to your body. Deadlift, kettlebell swing. That always means You don't have to make every workout as hard as possible. In fact, your body doesn't want you to do that because it'll go into overstress, it'll store fat. We don't want that to happen. So the thought is, if your body is just feeling low energy, power lunge or balance, take it back, take it down a notch, do what it's able and capable of doing successfully. You'll have plenty of other times to challenge it when the energy is back up. Holding and breathing, this single leg balance is a great opportunity for heart rate recovery. And now we have a water break transitioning into your burpee or sprint in place, butt kicks, or V-sit. So burpee or sprint in place, whichever you're choosing, I want you to go into a double time on this burpee, double time sprint in place, because if you need it, you have a V-sit in set B2 or C2. You're able to do a V-sit next if you need it. If not, this is a really good set to push the energy up if you've got the energy for it. Okay, butt kicks or V-sit. So get that heel back behind the body. I'm looking for it here, not off to the side, not here. I want to try to get the heel up towards my hips. It may not mean you actually kick your butt, but it should be getting up there. Burpee or sprint in place. If you're sprinting, I want a full-on arm drive. So hand comes from the ear to the pocket. Notice my elbow back behind the body. Not up here, but here. That is what's going to create the momentum in your sprint. Set D, tire flip or touchdown squat, lateral lunge, tire flip or touchdown squat. So if you're near your couch, you can pretend like you're going to lift your couch. So you're getting down to a deep squat, fingertips are under the couch, exhale, stand. Driving the feet through the ground, you can add a little jump into these if you would like. Lateral lunge, lunging off to the side, exhale, press back to center, lunging off to the other side. Notice when I step over, taking my hips back, making sure my knee doesn't drive forward over my toes. So I'm trying to keep my knee in alignment with my ankle. Tire flip or touchdown squat. Those touchdown squats and tire flips, because they're a deeper squat variation, you may feel a lot of quads. The whole thought here is I want you to activate your legs as if you were lifting that couch or that tire off the ground. So full leg activation. Okay, set E, tire up, plank to side plank and tire up. If you don't have a tire, it's a floor jump or a forward back step. Here we go. Tire up. Optional forward back step or hop or floor jump. Looking for something to challenge yourself because you have a plank to side plank next. So if we don't push it now, if we don't get those heart rates up, that plank to side plank is going to plummet the heart rate too low. Plank to side plank. Another consideration I want you to have is we want the heart rates to come down in your cardio. I know a lot of people who want to keep pushing through the heart rate recovery. If you're pushing through the heart rate recovery exercises, you tire up or forward back hop, it's only because your heart rate hasn't bounced above a 75 and you're halfway through the workout, then maybe you push that plank to side plank. But if your heart rate has seen the orange, let it come back down to the 70, 71, 72 range. That's perfectly fine. And in fact, that is what we want. We want to see the heart rate spike, but we also need to see that they can come right back down and then spike again. Okay, T-squat, lateral shuttle and T-squat. When you go into the hinge, you should feel good. Inner thigh, back of the leg stretch. So when you do that, take the hips up towards the ceiling. Now, again, we're looking for the higher intensity. This is set 3. Don't wait for sets 4 and 5 to get going. Lateral shuttle or lateral step. Lateral step, this variation may be a little bit of a lower heart rate, but that always means you can push a little harder on the T-squat if you're taking this as a lower heart rate. Now, if you're taking it as a shuttle and you're hopping, you're probably going to notice the heart rate come up. Okay, T squat, hips back, coming up into that T position. I always do these from the side profile so that you can see how much hip movement I have and how little knee movement I have. So I'm not doing anything through my knees, all through my hips. Okay, water break. Power lunge or balance, deadlift or kettle swing, and power lunge or balance. So I haven't laid out the kettlebell swing much in today's workout, so I will. I'm going to take this as my balance again. I'm feeling my quads more than my hamstrings. So that if you're somewhere similar, or maybe you're opposite, for me, if I'm feeling my quads like crazy and not my hamstrings, I'm going to go ahead and take this as a balance, but I'm going to take my deadlift or my kettlebell swing because they'll be good for my hamstrings. Okay. Kettlebell swing starts out in front of you, so you're creating a triangle with it, and the feet swing, bring it under the hips, no higher than shoulder height. Always when you're done, set it back out in front, shoulders are packed down. Power lunge or single leg balance. I think I was on my right leg. If you ever forget, if you ever lose track, just put your less balanced leg down. It's always like we all try to kind of reinforce. It's hard to overcompensate. So that less balanced leg can always be the extra leg. Okay, burpee or sprint in place, butt kicks or V-sit, and burpee or sprint in place. Okay, burpee or sprint. Let's take this intensity up. Let's look for a really quick sprint in place, really fast burpee. Take a big breath in, and if you have the energy, take it up, hold it up, breathe through it, let it stay high, let it burn that energy just a little bit. Good. Butt kicks or V-sit. If you're taking this V-sit, active recovery, heart rate's coming back down, you're taking some big deep breaths. If you're taking this as a butt kick, the arms are actively driving, the heels are coming up towards the glutes, burning out the back side of the thighs. Burpee, sprint in place. Here we go, guys. Stay with me. You have a 10-second water break coming up in about 10 seconds. So holding this out. Breathe. When that water break goes off, grab a small sip. There it is. Set D. Tire flip or floor or touchdown squat, lateral lunge, and tire flip or touchdown squat. There's that touchdown. Notice my back is staying flat. If you can't drop your hips very deep because of knee pain, that's okay. Just be sure that you go to a depth that doesn't hurt the knees and that the back doesn't round. Lateral lunge. Off to the side, back to center. You can always turn this into a hop in the middle. I want to be sure though, if you're adding the hop to your lateral lunge, it's because, and only because, you have a super solid lateral lunge and zero knee pain. Tire flip, touchdown squat. You are more than halfway through your workout. We are coming into that last third. Believe it or not, we're almost into that last third of your workout. Not quite, but we're getting there. And that's where we really want to start checking in, making sure, holding ourselves accountable for the intensity. Okay, tire up or floor jump, plank to side plank, and tire up or floor jump. Breathe. Jump, land, stand. Jump, land, stand. Jump, land, stand. One thing is really easy to forget in so many exercises, unless we're actually talking about it, as core engagement. So what is the core doing when you jump, land, and stand? Plank to side plank. Going into that plank position. Like I said earlier, just because it's cardio day doesn't mean we need to go quickly. Active recovery. Use this to recover your heart rate. Okay, tire up, floor jump. And if you're not jumping, the floor jump, it's that forward back step. So over that line, being deliberate about it, arms are involved and engaged. It's quick, fast agility on the feet.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, back to the top. We have 2 times left. This is set 4. We have 5 to go. No, 5 total, sorry. T squat, lateral shuttle and T squat.
1.
Can you guess what muscle group area of the leg is most predominantly used in a T squat? It is the back of the leg. So not only should you feel a stretch when you go into the T squat, but the back of the leg and the inner thigh should be actively engaged. Lateral shuttle or lateral step. When I'm doing the step, I'm not diving my shoulder down. I'm keeping my body upright, stepping completely with my feet and glutes to make that lateral step.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, T squat. Right into it. So again, back of the leg, inner part of the leg, glutes are all the primary muscles in a T squat, not all front of the thighs, because we're not dropping down into a deeper squat. So keep that in mind.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, power lunge, single leg balance, deadlift or kettlebell swing, and power lunge or single leg balance. I'm going to challenge my single leg balance a little bit on this one.
1.
I'm going to come up onto an unstable surface. Hands are free of the body. So any kind of motion like this, like this, like this is all taken away from the core. So take the hands away from the body in these balances. Make sure you're not holding your breath.
2, 1.
Kettlebell swing or deadlift. So the single leg balance, if you're using that, it's a really good heart rate recovery. If you're taking it as a power lunge, really good opportunity to push the heart rate up on those power lunges. I'm also fine if you want to do a reverse lunge instead of the power or the single leg.
1.
I can already hear some of you saying, I can't keep my heart rate up with a single leg balance on both sides of that deadlift or that kettlebell swing. So if you need to, you can always take it as a reverse lunge. Inhale back, exhale stand instead of the powers.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, set C, burpee or sprint in place, butt kick or V-sit, and burpee or sprint in place.
3,
Here we go, burpee, sprint in place. Let's take it up. I want you to find a level of intensity somewhere around an 8 or a 9 of a challenge. Now, don't work through any joint discomfort to get to that 8 or a 9. Acknowledge the lower back, knees, shoulders, hips, ankles, wrists. Do not push through those.
1.
Butt kicks, V-sit. Butt kicks here, lots of good opportunity in the butt kick to get the heart rate up, especially if you're able to travel around. If you are traveling at that higher tempo, we want to be sure it's not bothering the knees. I do know a few people who, when they travel forward, they get the knee pressure, so be diligent.
1.
Burpee, sprint. What do you have? You've got 20 seconds till a 10-second water break and we move into set D. So if you've got the push, now's the time. Don't wait for set 5 because I promise you by the time you get to set 5, it's going to be a lot harder to push as hard as you need.
1.
Set D, tire flip or touchdown squat, lateral lunge, and tire flip or touchdown squat.
3, 2,
Okay, here's that touchdown squat. Big exhale, hands reach overhead. Inhale down, exhale stand. Again, only going as deep as the back, the knees feel comfortable with going. We don't need to drop all the way to the ground if it bothers the joints.
1.
Lateral lunge. Off to the side, back to center. When I step off to that side, I should be getting a really good inner thigh stretch on the opposite leg. That leg is straight, the outside edge of that foot should be flat onto the ground. As we fatigue, I start to see that outside edge of the foot come up. Keep it flat.
1.
Tire flip, touchdown squat. You've got 20 seconds till a water break, and then we go into set E. So here, touchdown squat, if you've got the energy for a frog jump and you don't have knee pain or discomfort or injuries, go for the tire or the frog jump, adding that little hop in there.
1.
Set E, tire up or floor jump, plank to side plank, and tire up or floor jump.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, tire up, floor jump, here we go. Whichever one you're choosing, I want the landings to be ultra soft and ultra quiet. So when you land, we're not slapping or smacking our feet on the ground or the tire. It is a soft absorption through the legs. Plank to side plank. An analogy I'm going to give, and I hope it's applicable to enough things, and maybe too soft, but the analogy thought, a butterfly landing on a flower is you landing on the ground. So that's not a butterfly. This is a butterfly. So I am lowering my body onto the ground, catching my body with my legs and my glutes, relaunching off the ground, coming back to the ground, catching, absorbing the landing with my legs and my glutes, re-exploding up off the ground. So I hope that analogy works. It may be a little too soft of a landing, but something in that thought. I'll give you a few more on this. T-squat, lateral shuttle, and T-squat last time through. This is your one and done set. This is where you have to leave everything else you've got left on the floor. I don't care where you're at, if you're at home, if you're at a gym, if you're at a friend's house, if you're at a park, if you're on your lunch break. This is the one and done set where you've got to pack it all in. Whatever challenge you have left to put in your body or to leave from your body, this is the time to use it up because we don't come back. Core is braced up. Don't forget about that core. T-squat. Final T-squats of the day. We are about to cross off set A. Even though this is the one and done set, we still have 4 minutes of work. So don't start to pull out on me quite yet. I need you to keep staying engaged in this workout.
3, 2,
Okay.
1.
Water break. Grab a quick sip. Just enough to kind of wet the mouth. Going into your power lunge, reverse lunge or single leg balance.
1.
Here's that reverse lunge. I'm driving my forward foot into the ground. So some of you may be saying, okay, I did a lot of power lunges on this workout. My legs are tired. Take it as a reverse lunge or a balance. Deadlift is next.
2, 1.
Straight into that deadlift. Inhale down, exhale, stand. Optional kettlebell swing. All that engagement is happening through the back side of the legs and the glutes, not the quads. So you should not feel a ton of quads in your deadlift. Power lunge, reverse lunge, single leg balance. Final one of these. Crossing it off the list. 3 minutes to go after this exercise. We're almost into survival. Not quite, but we're almost into that survival set.
3, 2, 1.
Grab your water. Small sip, really small sip, because you're going into burpee or sprint in place. You drink more than a sip, that's going to be all over. Burpee, sprint in place, your choice. Which one do you want? Whichever you have chosen, I want you to find a challenge in it for you. I want you to say something nice to yourself, give yourself a compliment for being here, for getting this done wherever you're at, whatever energy you put into it, you did it. Focus on that. Butt kicks, sit. Butt kicks should still have this sprint in place arm drive. So just like your sprint in place, the butt kicks should also have that arm movement. Even if you're not sprinting, we're still using the arms to travel.
3, 2,
Burpee, sprint in place. Last 20 seconds of this exercise, not to see a burpee or a sprint in place for, well, at least the rest of today, unless you come back and do this workout. But as we know, probably not today and probably not tomorrow.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, set D, 2 minutes to go. This is where you should be in survival. Tire flip or touchdown squat, lateral lunge, and then tire flip or touchdown squat.
1.
What I mean by survival now is that you pushed and gave enough effort that by this point you're moving through the motions. Of course, you're still actively, mentally, physically engaged, but you're not necessarily having to push anymore. You're moving through them, you're physically engaged, you're mentally engaged, but maybe you've put weights down, maybe you've removed the jump. Connecting my breath to that movement, launching away from the ground, back to that center position.
3, 2, 1.
Tire flip, touchdown squat. You've got 20 seconds to your last and final water break, and then you have the 1 final minute of actual work time left for set E, and then you will be done. So way to get through this. This is again that time where remind yourself of something great, the fact that you are here, water break. The fact that you're here, you're getting it done, and you're almost done. Stay with me. You've got 1 minute of work to go. Tire up or floor jump. Here we go. Remember the butterfly, landing on the flower, not that, but this.
3, 2, 1.
Plank to side plank. Your final active recovery exercise for the day, your final plank to side plank, and we're looking at your last about 30 seconds of work time to go. Holding that plank to side plank, moving with the breath, transition, final, tire up, floor jump, or if you were doing the forward back hopper step, that's where you're at. This is where the last sprint to that finish line comes up. You've got less than 10 seconds to go. Hold it out, breathe through it, stay with me, and there it is. The Maniacal Minute can always be challenging, so way to be here, way to get it done, and I'll see you next time.